Hey, Raw Stars. I'm hoping this is working because we had a little change today and I had to change the way that I go live. So I'm on the rodeo, which allows you actually to call in if you have questions. So we will see if you guys are going to make it onto the live. This is a new rodeo that we're using today. Oh, yes, I see it. Okay, good. I am feeling good. I got Margarita and Robin on the line. So do you guys see me vertically or horizontally? So this is like a big change. I'm using something different. Hey, Monica, how are you? All right, thank you, Robin. Okay, so I think we're getting ready to go. I see you guys. I'm feeling, can you see how I got excited when I see you guys in the live? It makes so much of a difference when we are here together. All right. Okay, Denise is here, Monica, Robin. Okay, you guys. So my name is Tiffany Roth, and welcome to Tiffany Talks. This show is created to help everyday people live extraordinary lives. So how do you do that? So an extraordinary life is how you create it, you guys. So a lot of us believe that an extraordinary life is something that's going to happen to you, or you have to be born into it, or it has to do with something that you do. No, extraordinary lives come to those who embody it with all of their beings, their thoughts, their vibrations, their actions, their emotions. That's what makes your life extraordinary. Okay, so let's see, we have Margarita here. And oh yes, we're horizontal. Thank you guys for the feedback. Okay, so today is a juicy topic, right? Because most of us in life, like we are always thinking about our relationships, whether it's relationships with our parents, relationships with our significant other, our relationships with our coworkers, relationship with our children. Relationships are what make our lives extraordinary. But what happens is we don't really spend a lot of time on figuring out why relationships work versus why they don't work. So today's topic is, okay, why you are the cause of all of your failed relationships. And I'm going to give you an example. I'm going to take you way back, right? So when I first started dating, right? And you start dating and you have a bad experience, right? Say maybe the guy cheats or he lies or he does something. Look, it's always him, right? It's always the guy. We know it. Okay, so something happens in the relationship with the other person and you make up something about it, right? So usually we say, oh, he cheated on me, right? So which means that he did something to you, which makes you not responsible at all for anything that happens in the relationship. If you're not responsible and if it always happened to you, then how can you ever change it, right? So a couple of things happen when you get into a relationship. We're going to take cheating because that's a real popular subject, right? And I think a lot of us, if you have been dating for any amount of time, you have experienced infidelity in your relationship. And I can tell you this, if you've experienced it once, you will probably experience it again. And here's why. The first time that it happens to you, right, or that it happens, not necessarily to you, but that you experience it, you go, oh my God, I can't believe this happened. I don't know why this happened. And you blame. And it's got to be this guy's fault. He did something. He's awful. He's a liar. He's a cheater. He's all that type of thing. This is what we want to say, ladies, right? Let's keep it real, right? So then you make up a belief system. Now, where do you get that belief system? You might get that belief system from that experience that you have, but I guarantee you that you may have had way back in the crevices of your mind a belief system that at some point guys cheat, or at some point they're going to lie. Maybe you saw it happen in other relationships. Maybe you saw it on TV. Maybe you saw it with your parents, but some part of you kind of believed that that was going to happen. So that when it did happen, you took that actual event with a belief system and you matched them up and boom, there you have manifestation, right? So you take a belief system with an event, you match them together, and boom, you have a manifestation. You actually start to create that vibration in your life, right? So what I mean by that is that when you experience something and you already have a folder, that means your brain has different folders of information. And if you already have a folder that your brain believes that that could be true, that could happen, then when you put more information in your folder, it becomes fact. And when it becomes fact, you start to look for it everywhere. So what happens, you'll be like, oh my God, he's just like the last guy. I mean, the last guy did this to me too, right? And then you're saying you keep on creating the same situation in your life. So you have one guy and it's just like the last guy, and then you can't seem to find a good guy, and then there's no good men out there, right? So what you're doing is you're confirming what your brain wants to believe, because you know what? Nobody ever contradicted that for you. So when your brain wants to believe it, you just go with it. So I'm going to offer something different from you. I'm going to ask you to say to yourself, when something keeps happening to you, right? Oh my God, I'm a victim. This happened to me. He cheated on me. I'm so sad and I can't get over it. Ask yourself, like, how did I show up in that relationship? How did I create that for myself? What did I believe about men? What did I believe about myself? Many people get into a relationship already feeling unworthy. They're already feeling unworthy of the relationship. And although they may not cheat or do something else, they're bringing something else to the relationship that says that I'm not worthy. So I'm not going to attract people who see my worthiness. You guys, it's deep. It's so deep. So you carry that feeling of being unworthy to each and every relationship. And when you vibrate that unworthiness, right, the other person may not see it visually, but they feel it vibrationally. So they'll start to treat you like you're unworthy too, right? What? Is that true? Yes, it is 100% true. And then you're asking yourself, why does this keep happening to me? Why does this keep happening to me? You know why it keeps happening to you? Because you are not taking responsibility for your part in creating your life. And that includes your relationship. How are you showing up in your relationships? Even if it's at work, if you guys are in disputes with people at work and you always get, my coworkers are always getting on my nerves, right? And you get in fights with them or you don't get along, and then you move to the next job, and oh my God, it's the same type of coworkers. Oh, really? Or maybe it's you in the same job. So this is the thing, you guys. You get to take responsibility for the situation and own it and say, okay, who am I being? What am I believing? How am I showing up? Then the next question you can ask yourself is, how am I responsible for continually creating the same or similar situation in my life? Once you do that, once you say to yourself, whoa, I'm the one that's responsible for this, then you're the one that's also responsible to create something different. You also can create something extraordinary. I'm going to share something with you that happened to me, and it was really powerful. So I just got out of a bad relationship. I don't want to say a bad relationship. It didn't work out, right? It didn't work out for various reasons. But one of the reasons why it didn't work out is because I had started diminishing my value, myself. I did this to myself. No one did it to me. I started diminishing my value in the relationship and focusing outward on other things, whether it's the kids or the man or whatever. I started focusing outward instead of inward, right? And I created this situation where I wasn't happy because, listen, I had diminished my own value in the relationship and I wasn't showing up as my highest self. So then when I got into another relationship, guess what I did? I attracted somebody whom I thought, oh my God, this is the guy. He's the one. He's like so amazing and blah, blah, blah. But what I realized was it was similar to the last relationship. What was similar about it is that in that relationship that I attracted with this new guy, I was continuing the habit of diminishing what I wanted, diminishing my happiness, diminishing my joy in order to pour into him. Do you hear what I'm saying, ladies? So sometimes we do this. We put ourselves second to pour into someone and then wonder why they treat us second. What? Okay, you guys, I'm keeping it real on this show because listen, I want us to be able to move forward to an extraordinary life. Once you realize that you're responsible for your own happiness, you're responsible for your self-care, you're responsible for feeling worthy and whole and good, and you take that into your own hands, you will show up differently. You will show up differently in your next relationship. And if you show up differently, you're going to create something different. So one of the things that we do is that we bring our same selves, to a new relationship and expect something different. How does that work? That's called insanity. Insanity is doing the same thing and expecting a different result. If you don't work on yourself, if you don't own, if you don't own your part in every relationship, how did you show up? How are you feeling? Ladies, how are you feeling? What I discovered about myself, I'm going to share something else with you. I was raised by a single mom, right? I was raised by a single mom. And so all that I knew, my experiences other than television, were that the single mom is the one who is the boss, who controls everything, right? So when I would get into my relationships, I brought that belief system with me. I brought that belief system that the single mom is in charge, the single mom is the boss, has to control everything. And guess what? Who wants to be in a relationship where they're not actually seen? Right? So if the guy is in the relationship and in my head I believe that I have to do everything and be everything and I'm not open to creating something with someone, well, guess what? I'm going to yield the same result based on my belief system, which is a single mom, right? So single moms out there, I want you to ask yourself, hold yourself accountable. Do you believe that you are the one who has to do everything, be everything, everywhere, always be in control, right? And if that might work for you, but if it's not working for you, how do you open up your heart and say, you know what? I'm ready to step into the unknown wholly and fully and happily, okay, and not take my same experiences of the past with me. So when I realized that I was doing that, I was like, whoa, okay. So you recreate the belief system, you recreate your experiences. That's why it's really important for you to have new experiences and realize how you are showing up in those new experiences, right? Whether it's the same thing we do with our children, right? A lot of times there's no real parenting class, right? So we find ourselves, we do two things. We parent like our parents parent, or we parent in opposite to the way they parent, but we're always in relationship to our experience with parenting. Okay. So like if you grew up in a relationship with an alcoholic, one or two things are going to happen. You're going to become an alcoholic and act out the same thing you did. As much as you resisted, it's going to persist in your life. Or you're going to be so opposed to it, you're never going to drink and you're going to be the opposite of whatever it is that your parent did, but you're still in relationship to your experience, right, of a parent-child situation. So what I'm asking you guys to do is start to think about how you are showing up in your relationship and what do you believe about the relationship. And ladies, I'm going to talk to you. I'm going to talk to you heart to heart. I'm going to talk to you heart to heart from my experiences, right? I believed up until now that relationships don't really last. I believe that eventually men cheat. I believed that they won't be there for you when you really need them. I believe that. I believe that because I lived it. Okay. I lived it and I put it into my psyche. I put it into my psyche so that when something happened, right, As a matter of fact, like when something happens, actually because you're looking for it, when something happens, then you take that experience and you put it with your past beliefs and it becomes real. And when it becomes real, it happens over and over and over again. How do you get off the freaking hamster wheel of having the same relationship over and over? You work on yourself. You work on yourself. And so when you work on yourself and you start to pour into yourself and believe in yourself and believe, guess what, you guys? What do I always say? What you believe, you will achieve. And you believe that you are worthy and whole and amazing and that you will attract the right person for you. You will. You absolutely will. But you get to bring a new person to that relationship. Don't bring all of your junk and the history of the relationship. Wow, okay. That's easier said than done, right? That's easier said than done. So what you get to do, you guys, is you get to every day work on creating not only a 10-10 relationship with your spouse, but a 10-10 relationship with yourself. Because when you don't have a 10-10 relationship with yourself, you're not bringing your best to the table. When you're not bringing your best to the table, people are going to see you as seeing yourself as not good enough. Oh my God, what? Oh, it's like a knife in the heart. Really? Is it really all about me? Yes, it is. So when you don't spend your energy on creating a 10-10 relationship with yourself and say you bring a 7 to the relationship, well, they're going to treat you like a 7. Because that's how you see yourself, baby. So when you see yourself as a 10, when you pour into yourself and take care of yourself and love yourself and hold yourself high, that's how you're going to vibrate in the world. And that's what you're going to bring to the table. Don't, a lot of people settle because they think, oh, I'm not going to find anybody good enough. No, what you're really saying is, I'm not good enough. Preach, Tiffany. What? I'm keeping it real. Okay? People say, I'm not going to find anybody good enough. But what they really are saying is, I'm not good enough. Right? So the only way that you could actually combat that is to work on yourself, is to be responsible for the version of yourself that you bring to the table. What version of you are you bringing to the table? Are you bringing your best self? Are you bringing a haggard self? Are you bringing a drug addicted self? Right? Are you bringing an unhealthy self? Who are you bringing to the table? And as long as you continue to bring the same person to the table, right, then you're going to keep getting the same result. So once again, you guys, oh my God, it all comes back to you. Taking care of yourself, being fit in mind, body, and spirit so that you can create an extraordinary life, so that you can believe that all things are possible because you believe in you. When you believe in yourself, it changes your viewpoint of the world, and you will start to vibrate on such a level that all of your relationships will improve. I'm going to give you guys, before I sign out, another example, right? So this is really interesting, and I'm keeping it real. Like, we get to chit chat and talk about this. The other day, I was being triggered. I will be honest with you. I was being triggered about like some extra weight gain on my waist. I'm like, man, I was in a grouchy mood and I was thinking about it. And sometimes when you're in a grouchy mood, you want to go to your habit and do something that's a quick fix. And that means like eat something bad or self-destruct. It's self-destructive behavior that we fall into when we don't feel good about ourselves. So I was feeling a grouchy mood about this thing. And then my daughter comes up to me when I'm in this grouchy mood, and I'm like, what? What do you want? Right? So was it about her? No, it was not. Okay? Because of what I was feeling, I showed up with her with this negative energy, right? And then she responded to the energy, maybe by whining or crying. And then I might say, well, why are you whining all the time? When really it came from me, right? It came from me. So listen, you guys, if you are not feeling good about yourself, get yourself right. Get yourself right. Give yourself a moment and ask yourself, do like a scan. What is bothering me right now? Where is it coming from? Is it my heart? Is it my mind? Is it my body? Breathe. How can I elevate past this right now? And you know how you can do that? Number one, begin with gratitude. Gratitude that you are here, gratitude that you're still in this game called life, right? Gratitude for your health. And when you take a moment from frustration and you just focus inward on gratitude, it will give you the shift that you need to start to work on yourself, to go from that self-destructive state of mind to a self-loving state of mind. You guys hear me? Because we all get there. Listen, as your coach, right? I'm not immune. As a matter of fact, I believe that I have more experiences and more things to overcome, that because it'll make me a better coach, right? When I can really feel it. Okay, so when you're in a funky mood, right, and you know that mood, you're gonna take that mood to work, to your children, to your spouse, to whoever, right, to your friends. You take it out on them somehow, not intentionally. What you get to do is a self check. Bring those fingers of what everybody's doing to you back to you and say, what is bothering me? How am I creating this? How can I shift my energy? What am I grateful for at this moment? So the reason why I say gratitude, because that is what's necessary for the shift. It's not like you just say, I'm grateful, I'm grateful, I'm grateful, and everything's going to be okay. But when you're in that space and you start really focusing on things that you're grateful for, it'll allow you to shift out of self-destruction into self-creation. Oh my God, what? You guys, sometimes these words, they come from God. What I'm telling you, guys, they're coming straight from God to you, because I am living my purpose. I am living my purpose as your coach. I'm living my purpose in my life for my own personal growth. And I know when these words come through me that they are the truth, right? So when you shift into gratitude, listen to what I'm saying. You take that moment of wanting to self-destruct to self-create. Are you feeling me? From self-destruction to self-creation, right? So if you just think, I don't have anything to be grateful for, liar, liar, all you got to do is look around. Can I move my arms? Can I move my neck? Right? Can I see? Can I hear? Can I breathe? Can I talk? Can I walk? Right? Do I have food? Do I have a roof over my head? There is always something to be immensely grateful for. Even the smallest things. If you took the nail off of your pinky, you would miss it. You would be sad. You'd be obsessed about it. So you get to be gratitude. You be being gratitude for the tips of your fingers. Don't let the universe remind you of all of your gifts. Stay in constant gratitude of them so that you can continue to vibrate things to be grateful for. Okay? So back to the topic. Why are you the cause of all of your failed relationships? Because you bring your same self to the relationship. If you want to create something different, you get to work on yourself. You get to create a 10-10 relationship with yourself. You get to learn how to shift from that funky mood of unworthiness, of self-destruction, into self-love and self-creation. That's it for today, you guys. Thank you so much for being here and sharing. I'm going to open this up for questions because I can see you guys on the screen commenting, sending me so much love. If something resonated with you today, let me know. Type a message. Say, Tiffany, it meant a lot to me when you said this, right? Tiffany, I experienced this. Again, this is the time where we get to have a conversation, because there's a lot of times I come on, I do the workouts, and if you guys haven't followed me already, go to Tiffany Roth Workouts. Make sure you subscribe, right? And I go live workouts for every Monday and Wednesday at 9 a.m. and Saturday at 10:30 a.m., right? So, anybody have any questions or comments? I'll take a couple of minutes, right? Thank you, Ebony. Thank you, Wendy. All right. Thank you, Paulina. Anybody have any questions or comments? This is the time. All right. And GK is there. Okay. So Ebony said what resonated with her was accountability to self. Yes, you guys, that is number one, right? Because guess what? When you realize that you're in control of changing things, you realize that you're in control of creating whatever you want in your life. It's super powerful. All right. Yes. And also when you point outward, right? You know that. You guys know that when you got one finger out at somebody, look what you did, look what you did. How many fingers are back at you? That's so true. All right. Okay, Mimi. All right. Whatever your situation is, right? You get to shift, find out what's bothering you, ask if you're bringing your best self to the relationship. And in order to work on yourself, make that shift from self destruction to gratitude to self creation. Self destruction, gratitude, self creation. Okay. All right. Thank you, Ashley. Thank you for listening. And listen, you guys, if you know anybody that will benefit from this show, please share it. Share it on your social media, share it on YouTube, share it on Facebook, wherever you are. Share this message. We all get to know this information. It's life changing. It's really life changing. And you know, I do offer coaching sessions. I have very intensive mindset makeover course, which is already started right now. So it's closed now, but we'll have another one next year. And we work on leadership of yourself. I teach everyone how to become the CEO of their own lives, right? How to get into the driver's seat of your life and go where you want to go. Get rid of those obstacles and things that have mental blocks that have gotten in your way to living the life that you were born to live. Okay. All right. Whoever there. Okay. Hey, thank you, Paulina. Thank you, Katarina. Titiana is here. All right, you guys, I love you so much. I don't even know if I know how to turn this off because I'm on rodeo right here. Hold on. We might be on here for a long time. We might be on here for a long time. Oh, I see it. I found the end button. Thank you, Anne. I'm so grateful for you too. I love you guys so much. I love you so much. And remember, as always, we are better together. Leave a comment below. Share it with a friend. I'll see you next Tuesday at 12:30.